Now, developing a marketing strategy. You have your research, you have your persona, you are understanding the different aspects of what a strategy will need to include. Now it's time for you to develop the strategy itself. First of all, you have to ask yourself, if you stopped creating all your content, would anyone notice? If nobody notices, don't even bother creating content. And the point of asking yourself that is to make sure that you're bringing value to the people who are following you. If you are only promoting your film without bringing value, only telling people, hey, we're going to be in this film festival and we're going to be in that film festival, and now you can go on Patreon and pay $50 a month and you can help me, nobody will bother supporting you or following you. You have to bring a true value to the people who are following you. You can obviously give people updates on where your film is at, but I would say on average, 1 out of 7 posts that you create can be about promoting your film. The other 6 need to be a genuine post that is bringing value to the people who are following you, talking about the industry, talking about the topics, entertaining people with pieces of your film. And we talked about the different types of content that you can create earlier. At this point, you're brainstorming ideas, and you have to follow it in 4 steps. The first step is finding all those pain points that we listed in our research, where we talked about the emotional jobs, where we talked about the 4 forces, the things that are pushing people and pulling people, and come up with an idea based on 1 or more pain points. If you have an idea that does not serve a pain point, ignore it. Because if you think that it's valuable and it's fun to do, once you do it, it might not be popular because it's not serving any purpose. It's not alleviating any pain points. It's not helping people move from a negative emotion to a positive emotion. So what's the point? Second step, once you have all those ideas listed, split the content by stages. So we talked about the stages, which are the awareness, consideration, decision, and nurturing. You have to make sure that when you're creating a marketing strategy, you are addressing all of those stages. You don't want to only focus on the decision phase where you are giving only entertaining content and film stuff. You also want to focus on the other 3 stages, because otherwise your marketing strategy is weakened, because you're only waiting for people to magically happen to see your film, for example, and figure out that, oh, this is a movie and I can actually watch it, and think that, okay, I want to watch it, without you necessarily helping them discover your film and move from that awareness phase that we talked about all the way to the decision phase and beyond into the nurturing phase. So make sure that you split and distribute those ideas by stages. 1 piece of content can serve more than 1 stage. Just focus on the one it will serve the best. If you are lacking some content ideas for some stages, you have to go back and come up with more ideas. Step 3, build a matrix where you can distribute this content by the level of direct impact it can have on your sales or your conversion rate, and by resources demand. So something like a podcast, for example, depending on who you are and how easy it is for you to create a podcast, might be something that's very demanding when it comes to your resources and have an indirect impact, because it takes 1 year to 2 years for a podcast to become popular. So it might not be something you want to focus on first if you have a low budget, or if you don't have enough resources, or if you need to have a marketing strategy that's moving fast. Posters could be something that is a bit more interesting. It's a little bit resource demanding because you have people who are putting them up, you have to pay for the posters, etc. But it might have a higher direct impact if you are posting in a city where you have a film festival. It's up to you to organize it, again, by the level of direct impact and the level of resources it demands, and then focus on the ones that have the highest direct impact and the lowest resource demand. Step 4, you have to select the pieces of content you want to work with. When you list content, describe the stage. So what stage is this going to serve? Awareness, consideration, decision, or nurturing. The format, Is this going to be a video, or is this going to be a podcast, or is this going to be a written article or an illustration? The distribution channels, is this for Vimeo or YouTube? Is this for the website, Facebook, Instagram, stories, etc.? The promotional channels. So once this is posted, do I want to promote it? And where do I promote it? How do I promote it? Are these posters in the street? Are these Facebook ads, Instagram ads? Or do I have to share that with journalists for them to talk about, etc.? And add a time frame, months by months. If you're going to do it today, tomorrow, next month, in 2 months from now, the next quarter, you need to spread your efforts because you cannot create everything at the same time. And you need to make sure that you have enough content that's being posted and promoted so that you will last for a few months, especially if you're leading up to a film festival screening. You don't want to cram everything early on. You don't want to do everything last minute. You have to make sure that you're giving yourself and people time to learn about your film, be interested in it, and eventually buy the ticket.